What's going on, everybody? It's Rob Brunson with Wallace Electronic Sales. I really appreciate everyone kind of joining this on a short notice. I know I sent it out like with 2 hours to spare. I was trying to get on LinkedIn Live and, I pulled it up and I tried to do a little test run. And then it said, you got to wait 6 weeks. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. So I had to make a little YouTube account real quick. So that's where we are today. Again, I appreciate everyone joining in. What I thought we would do is basically just come through and, walk through our line card and explain to you guys exactly what it is we do. We know in the COVID world, it's been kind of hard to reach out to people. So my ultimate goal for this is just to make this a forum for everybody. And, eventually what we want to do is we want to have interviews with manufacturers. We want to have interviews with distributors and everybody, right? So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know. We'll get you on here. We're going to try to do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays and maybe some Friday stuff towards the end of the day just to wind down your week. But the first thing I thought I'd talk about, since we've got everyone here, is what exactly is a manufacturer's rep, right? Because this is something that, is a little bit confusing, especially in today's world, right? Everything's digital. No one's traveling. No one's really talking to anybody, right? So everything that everyone does is transactional, right? So you've got emails that are transactional. It's, hey, I need this product. When can I get it? So it's kind of been lost in, translation, kind of exactly what everyone does. Right. So what the manufacturer's representative does is we are the walking, talking field sales team for the manufacturers that we represent. Right. So a lot of times people think we're a distributor. We're not. Distributors hold stock. We work directly with the factory and the manufacturers that we represent. So when you're talking to us, for example, Wallace Electronic Sales, we're in the Southeast. So whenever you're talking to us about American Bright, which we'll get into in a second, we are the American Bright factory, if you will, in the Southeast. And we're bound by contract and we represent them, right? So we are more or less an employee of American Bright who helps, facilitate synergistically, through our other line card products, you as the customer or as a distributor in certain circumstances, get what you need. So that is exactly what a manufacturer's representative is. And speaking of which, if you have any comments, there should be a little comment box over here. So feel free, just drop me a comment. I'll pull them up on the screen. I'll try to address those as we go. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the line card. We're going to kind of do a deep dive on these manufacturers because a lot of times, in this world, everything's transactional, like I said before. So you've got about 2 minutes to capture someone's attention. The great thing about this live stream is, we can go and you guys can always go back and rewatch it or, share it with somebody else. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Got to give me a second here. I'm a one-man show right now. All right. So here we go. So we're going to start with this. We've got about, 20 plus manufacturers on here. I'm not going to go too berserko with it, but we do want to give you a deep dive so you can actually understand exactly what it is each one of these manufacturers does. And again, like I said, if you have any questions, I have the comment section pulled up over here. Feel free to let me know. I'm going to go ahead and take all this stuff off the screen so we have a little bit more of a clear view here. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first, and I'm going to visit these websites too. So, if you're out there and you're like, hey, that's interesting, you'll be able to see the website URL and jump on that as well. So first, we're going to start with Aleph. So they're a true manufacturer of reed switches, optical components, and sensors. Now, this is a global supplier. So we actually have the ability to play with the big boys when it comes to Aleph. The cool thing about their website is you can come through. For example, let's just go to sensors here. Proximity sensors. That's a newer thing with robotics and stuff like that. So you have the PDF that you can download and check out. Like we said, we do a really good job with the reed switches. We know that's kind of something that's in a way going away, but the proximity sensors are up and coming. But if you do use reed switches, then you need them. So that's Aleph. Let's go ahead. And some of these websites have some pretty cool videos that I'm going to share with you guys. So next we have American Bright. American Bright is a true manufacturer of LEDs. They have a really cool flexible rope light, which I'll try to pull up the PDF of that and show you guys. It's really neat. I actually have one in the chair, but I would have to, contort my body every which way to get that plugged in and show y'all. So let me go over here to the American Bright website. And they actually have a pretty cool video. I'm going to show you the one on the Easy LED because I think that's a pretty cool product. So let me come down here and play this.
American Bright's Easy LED shrinks and simplifies LED system designs. The Easy LED requires no external passives and integrates a driver IC, allowing it to be directly connected to a 12 or 24 volt supply. This approach offers many practical benefits to the designer and user, besides the design simplification. The integrated driver actively manages the current through the LED, keeping the device within its operating temperature range to increase reliability and ensure a long product life. And because each Easy LED is independently driven, increasing light output is as easy as placing LEDs in parallel. The driver also has a wide input voltage range, 10.5 to 24 volts for the 12 volt Easy LED, and 22.5 to 36 volts for the 24 volt Easy LED. This ensures consistent LED current, light output, and color temperature, even if the power supply's voltage fluctuates or varies from its nominal voltage. With no external passives, the design cycle is easier and faster. There's no need to validate different passives, and there are fewer components to save the trouble of managing additional long lead time components. This also results in a cleaner design with less component shadowing. American Bright's Easy LED is available in multiple colors and brightness levels in a 30/30 package. They're designed for use in automotive applications, including exterior signals and interior lighting, as well as indoor and outdoor applications. To learn more, visit www.americanbrightled.com.
So that's just one of the solutions that American Bright can offer. If you come up here to their products, you can actually check out, they actually have it really nicely done. You can go look at the flexible rope light, which I think is really cool. They also have all the brochures and as well as the videos. So they have some short form brochures as well as some longer brochures. I pull this up here. I have a lot of stuff open so I can try to get to it quickly. But look, we got infrared, easy LEDs, the light control box. So it's all here. So definitely go take a peek at that. Everyone loves lights. That's one thing we've learned. You know, you go in to talk to a customer or somebody, and you pull out lights, and then it's just like everyone congregates around you because everyone thinks that LEDs and lights are so cool. Okay, let's jump back to the line card really quickly. I wish it wouldn't resize like it does, but that's okay. I'll just blow it up every time for you guys. So next we have Bicet cable protection. This is through Kangyang USA. So I just want you to keep that in mind. We're going to come back to Bicet once we get to Kangyang. I just kind of want to do that in one hit so everyone can understand Kangyang's full capabilities. Bicet's just a small part of that. So keep Bicet in mind. We will get to Kangyang in just a second. So B-Star. B-Star is beepers, speakers, haptics, microphones. They also have ultrasonic sensors. They also do coin cell batteries. I'm going to take you over to their website. It's actually a really pretty website. So you come over here. They're located in Chicago. And let's go. I think the haptic devices are really cool. The haptics are the thing, you know, when you get your phone and you press on the screen and it kind of gives you that touch resolution, that feedback. That's what a haptic is. It's basically a reverse engineered speaker. And I think we're going to see that used in a lot more technology as we move forward, just because people like that tactical feel of something where if you press something, you want some feedback, not just visually, but also you would like it to be able to feel it in your fingers. So if you come over here and, you know, you want to check this out, they have downloads. I'll pull this up so you guys can see a little bit better, but you can download the PDF of all the haptic devices and it has the specs and all that good stuff. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking for a speaker. Dave Waddick, who works for B-Star up in Chicago, he's got some engineering background and he's very technical. So he'll be able to help you out with any designs or anything like that you may have. So keep B-Star in mind. Let's see here. I got to do the good old blow up again. All right. So CEC, there is a lot to unpack here, boys and girls, a lot. So this is crystals and oscillators. They're also a magnetics company. They're one of the major companies in China. They're under the Panda umbrella. They have $35 billion in sales. They're extremely responsive. They're engineering driven. I have a lot of slides to show, so I'm going to kind of get to those. And I also want to show you the heat sinks, which if you scroll just a little bit down. That's this. So they have nanocarbon heat sinks, and it's really cool. It makes them smaller, it makes them lighter, and most importantly, it makes them cheaper. So I guess what we'll do is I'll stop sharing this right here and I'll jump back over because I have actually some CEC data sheets that I want to show you guys. So let me do this one first. Oops, that's not the right one. Sorry. So many. Let's see here. 11.0. So I got to share. Here we go. All right. So this is the crystals, right? And as we kind of start to scroll down, I'm not going to, get too deep into the crystal and oscillator talk here, but these are all the products they offer. We are extremely competitive when it comes to this kind of stuff. If you're building some sort of a bomb or, you want us to take a look at all your components, you should definitely let CEC take a look at your crystals and oscillators. I would hedge my bets that we will be competitive. And Eric, who works the CEC office out of the United States, is an awesome guy and extremely technical too. So these are the oscillators. I got to jump around here because I have all the PDFs pulled up. I'll show you the transformer selection really quickly, just so you can see that, because I think that's pretty cool as well. Let's see here. Where are they? Here we go. So here's the transformers. And as you can see, there's just, it's just a ton of stuff. It's pretty crazy. And let me, I want to share one other thing before we jump into the heat sinks, just because I think that is really cool. Let me go here and screen. So I'm going to have to share my entire screen with you guys really quickly to pull this up. So here we go. This is the company. This is what I really want to get to right here, is the production capacity. So if you look here, transformers, 4.5 million a month. Indicator line filters, 15 million a month. Current transformers, 2 million a month. Network transformers, 20 million. FRD, 50 million. Resistors and capacitors, 10 million a month. These numbers are crazy. So if we go down here, here's some of the products right here. Ring inductors, SMD chip inductors, coil inductors, keeps going, more products. Wireless charging coils. There's the transformers that we looked at already. Network transformers, high power transformers and inductors. So, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. So that is CEC. Let me show you these heat sinks just because I think those are really cool. Let me go ahead and exit that out since we're done with that. And I'll go ahead and bring this bad boy up. So here are the nanocarbon heat sinks, which are really cool. And this is something that I think is going to gain more and more traction as we move into the future, right? So here we go. Here's a little bit of a breakdown of the product families. So they can do customized shapes, all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. The next one, here we go. So it's carbon nano capsules, and it's cross-section with the high heat transfer coefficient. It's durable and it's stable. Where's that one slide? Here we go. This is the one I wanted. So it's got a thin nanocarbon layer. It's coated on a metal substrate surface. Its high efficient heat transfer occurs between carbon atoms. And when you see these things, it's pretty shocking. If you've ever seen a heat sink before, they're kind of big and they're bulky. These are really sleek. Like I said, they're really light and they run really cool. So here we go. Here's the advantages: improved heat dissipation, low cost. They can be customized, improved reliability, environmentally friendly. And if you really want to, we can do color options and logo printing. I don't know if that would be something you would really need, but if you wanted to, we could do it. So that is CEC in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and close that PowerPoint presentation and start knocking these off the screen as we get through it here. come back to the Chrome tab. All right, so moving on. Dantona Industries. So these are our battery guys. They do a really good job with custom battery packs, also with power tool battery replacement batteries. It would honestly frighten most of you guys if you just, for example, go on Amazon. If you just want to run a test run, go onto Amazon and look how much a power tool replacement battery is for your drill, because no one has cords now. You walk into a warehouse or heck, even your own home, you don't see cords running through the house and all this and that. Everything is run by battery, right? Because it's easy. You're not tripping over anything. But the battery, people tax people on these rechargeable tool batteries. Dantona is very competitive. If any distributors are watching this stream and you have Dantona, this is definitely something you would want to look at, especially for those MRO accounts. There's a lot there. So get with me if that's something you're interested in. I'd really like to just show you how much money we could actually save you. All right. Moving on, kind of jumped a little bit there. Let me grab it. It's not want to cooperate with me. There we go. So next we have Flexible Circuit Technologies. This is a really cool company. They're a leader in flex technologies. They don't shy away from small stuff. They'll also do really big things. These guys have the capability to be a global supplier. Mark Finstead is a technical engineer. He's one of the world's foremost flex experts. I mean, we actually did a seminar for a customer here in North Carolina, and the things that he talked about were crazy. I actually have a video on it. I'm not going to share it here, but one of the stories he was telling us about is, he had a customer and they were getting these flexible circuits in, and they were in Florida, and the manufacturer was in somewhere in the Northeast, right? So they fly the things down to Florida, and it's like, wow, this isn't the right size. And they fly back up to take a look at it, and the engineers are saying, hey, that actually is the right size. So then they fly back down. So then Mark Finstead comes in, and what they realized was, because of the humidity, when it was going from the Northeast to Florida, it was actually causing things to expand and shrink and expand and shrink. And he went through this whole seminar about it's just crazy stuff, things that are way above my head. But one of the cool things, I'll stop this really quick. Again, I want to show you guys this because this is a really, really cool tool that Flexible Circuits actually provides. So if you want this, just give me a shout. If there's any engineers out there, holler at me. This is the Flexible Circuit and Heater Design Guide. It is basically a how-to design a flexible circuit. And then obviously, this isn't going to tell you absolutely everything, but it covers most of the basics. And then once you kind of get to this point, take a look at it and then get back in touch with Flexible Circuits. Their technical expertise it's pretty mind-blowing, man, especially Mark Finstead. He is really good. Kerry Burkett. TJ May is the gentleman in the Southeast who you would be working with. Great guy as well. They're really responsive and extremely thorough. And one thing that Mark talks about all the time is, it's not – sometimes I think this is true in life too, but it's not even really knowing about what to do. Sometimes it's just more valuable understanding what not to do. And since he's been doing flex for about 40 years now, I hope he doesn't get mad that I said that. He understands exactly what not to do. So as you can see, as I'm scrolling through this design guide, there's just a lot to unpack here. So if this is something you're interested in, just give me a shout and I'm more than happy to send it over to you. So I'm going to jump back over to the line card. I need to have like 2 mouses or something. All right. So now we're back. So now Hallmark nameplate. Nameplates, membrane switches, overlays, assemblies. They're also ITAR certified. I'm going to jump over to their website because it's also another beautiful website. I just think that's so cool. I love that little animation. These guys are really fun to work with. They're a good time. They're super responsive. They're based in Florida, which is nice, especially with some of the logistics issues that we're seeing today with some manufacturers in China. And Yeah, I mean it's pretty basic. I mean it's nameplates, overlays, things like that. But they do a really good job. Tom and John are both a lot of fun to work with. John's actually going to be on the stream here in the coming weeks, and we're going to do an interview that way. So you'll get to know him a little bit better. I just love this website. It's so pretty. So yeah, and the cool thing about them is you can come over here, and they're really good about this. You can actually go in and say, hey, this is the problem we need. We need this solution. You can fill out all of this, and the Hallmark team does a great job of getting that into our hands, so we can better service you and just go ahead and get that ball rolling to find you a solution. All right, let me back up a little more here. Keep on going. All right. Fortunately, when we get towards the last one, I'm going to have to scroll quite a long ways, aren't I? All right. So HFC thermal shielding, this is also through Kangyang. So again, I just want you to take that, put it in your back pocket, and when we get to Kangyang, we're going to unpack all of this. So just keep this in mind and hold tight. So next, we have Icon Systems. These are our cable experts. They do an awesome job with harsh environment applications. They're a true U.S. manufacturer. They're located in Chicago as well. They do all their processes in-house here in the United States. So this is great. I also love this website a lot. I'm going to spend a little while on here. There's a really cool video that I want to show you. Actually, there's two, so bear with me. So let's come up here. Well, actually, let's scroll down first. I'll show you the Meet Icon video. And so here it is. This is about Icon Systems, so we'll check this out.
We're Icon, and our products are built to operate in any environment, no matter how extreme. We design.
Oops. I think I might have hit the wrong button. Sorry about that, guys. Let me jump back on it here. We're having some bandwidth issues. That's okay. We'll I'll try it again once I go through everything else here. Let's let me come up here and I'll just show you guys the CAD drawings real quick. So let's go to standard connectors. I think this is really cool, and then we'll try the video again. So let's go to, I like the iMate. So a lot of websites don't have this. We think this is actually really cool that you can actually come in and they actually provide the 3D and CAD drawings already on their website. We'll go with this one. So you can actually go in here and you can check out all of the 3D CAD drawings if you want to look at those. You can zoom in, you can get all the product details. If you need a custom connector, you can let them know that as well. Let me see here. I think there was another good one that I really wanted to show you guys. Let's see if this video worked, because this is, where's the WetMate connector? This is like some sorcery or something. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. So this is their Niobicon, and this is their underwater connector, which is, I mean, it's just crazy. Let me just show you. Hopefully we don't have any more bandwidth issues. So check this out.
A new, revolutionary, patented product that's ideal for underwater applications. The Icon WetMate.
What is that? That's crazy.
Niobicon's patented technology allows the WetMate connector to mate and unmate underwater. That's because Niobicon connectors are designed to intentionally let water in. Niobium contacts are touch-safe underwater, even with power applied. The Niobicon connector is corrosion-resistant, has no O-ring, gaskets, or oil bladders. No sealing is required. And you can mate or unmate above the water or fully submerged. There is no depth limit. It's durable enough to be used in the harshest environments: saltwater and freshwater, mud, even underground. Icon's WetMate can be customized for any application and is suited for any industry that comes in contact with water. The possibilities are endless because there's nothing else like Icon's WetMate connector, above or below the water. Start mating and unmating cables underwater without damaging electrical components or posing a health risk to yourself or the surrounding environment. If you're having challenges with your current interconnect performance, there's no need to wait for your next project. We can provide the solution you seek now. Don't let harsh environments and water threaten your next application. Contact Icon today to see how we can connect your product to work anywhere.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. I just think that's the coolest thing in the world. So, if you have a marine application or some extremely harsh weather application, this is something you would definitely want to look at. Again, this website's very enjoyable. I would encourage you to go check it out. You can check out the 3D CAD drawings as well. I'm going to go ahead and jump back up. I was clicking on a lot of stuff here, so bear with me as I get on back here. I think next, here we go. Aha. I got to find a better way to do that, huh? So let's see here. Coming on down. All right, so JDD Tech, as you can see here, this is also through Kangyang. But guess what's next? Kangyang. So we're going to unpack all this right now. So Kangyang, they are a totally vertically integrated company. They have over 10,000 standard parts. They add about 20 to 30 parts every month to their catalog. Actually, beside me, have a Kangyang catalog. Look at this thing, you guys. Is that not the most? I mean, if you're an engineer, this is like paradise. I'm going to try to hold it up a little better for you here, but I mean, they've got everything you could ever imagine in there. And it's, at the very front, we actually have what's called a point and grunt section. So you can say, oh, this is exactly kind of what I'm looking for. It tells you exactly where to go. And so you can go check that out. They also have great sample kits, which we know engineers love and like to get their hands on. I'm going to try to hold this up to the screen without dumping it out here. But there's just a ton of stuff. Speaking of which, there's a BISET cable gland. That's kind of exactly what we were talking about. The other cool thing about this, which we're really proud of, is they use only 3M adhesive. That's a terrible example because it's like the smallest one I could have possibly grabbed. Here we go. They use 3M adhesive on the back, so it's not any of that cheap stuff that's going to fall off if you need an application. These guys are solution providers. They can do customs. That's where we really shine, actually, and kind of separate ourselves. We can be a global supplier as well. You get to avoid those nasty tariffs too, which is always fun. So this is the Kangyang USA website. It's basically the catalog in clickable form. It's pretty easy to navigate. We actually have found that people really like the catalog just because it's like you're holding something like, oh man, it's so powerful when you see it. So as you can kind of see here, you go through and here's the thermal. This is the HFC shielding for EMI protection and things like that. You can actually download the catalog. I'm not going to click on that. I think Bill might be in here. We're going to interview him. Bill, how big is that PDF to get the catalog for this thing? You can also sign up for a newsletter and do all that. Like I said, they actually have some distribution networking down here in the Southeast. I'm not sure about the other parts of the country. I'm sure they have them. I just don't know specifically who they are. But these guys are awesome. They're great solution providers. Bill said over 20 megs. That's actually not that bad, though. I mean, you could download that. So yeah, come over to the Kangyang website, check it out. If you want a sample kit or a catalog, just let us know. We can ship that out to you. They also have a facility in Chicago, which is great, where they hold stock. So logistically, it's been a little weird right now with everybody in general, with plastics, metals, copper. If you're in business, you know the deal. But they do have a lot of stock in Chicago. So there is a chance if you're saying, hey, this is the part I want, we may be able to ship those samples out to you relatively quick, and we don't have to wait for them to come from Asia. So that's Kangyang. So what I'll do is I'll jump back really quickly, and I'll go back to the JDD Tech and the BISET just to touch on those. Let's see here. So BISET, again, this is through Kangyang. So they have nylon cable glands and metal cable glands, also flexible conduit. They also have enclosures, which is actually pretty interesting. I get more inquiries for enclosures than I thought I would. But Kangyang has these, and it's BISET through Kangyang, but we'll just call it Kangyang. So let's go back down to HFC really quickly. My mouse likes to stop working. I think it's on overload. thermal pads, EMI gaskets, EMI absorbers. They also have ferrite sheets. So basically, if you need to protect your box, let us see. Oh, with the HFC, we have these really cool brochure kind of sample kits where you can actually open it up and you can actually feel all the thermal pads, and it has the temperature ratings and all that good stuff on there. And then JDD Tech, heat shrink tubing, expandable sleeving. The main inquiry that we get, as you could probably imagine, is for heat shrink tubing. They have this really cool one. I wish I had this. I think I gave all the samples away. So we'll get back to that at a different stream. Maybe when Bill's on, we'll talk about that. So yeah, that's Kangyang. And again, spacer, standoffs, wire management, brushings, grommets, light pipes, rivets, and then 10,000 more other things that are, in this thing. Oh, so Fabian said it's almost 100 megabyte PDF catalog, but still, I mean, that's still not bad. I mean, that's like the 7th Harry Potter book right there. So that's actually really good, that it's only 100 megs. So next we have Laystrom. So this is our metal fad company. They added about $1.5 million in machinery. Colin Cosgrove, who's also going to be interviewed by me in the future. We're going to start those in April, by the way. He actually has, expertise with metal fabrication. I have a pretty cool, let me stop sharing this. Actually, I didn't mean to do that. Their website is fine. I just wanted to show you this, this presentation that Colin put together, just because I think it's really cool. Got to change over here really quickly. This is the one I clicked on accidentally, but so this is our DFM presentation. There's a lot to unpack here as well. So if you're someone who's looking for sheet metal, let me touch on this really quick before we get too far into this. We know right now, because we've experienced with a lot of our customers, that there are logistics nightmares of trying to get sheet metal from Asia, right? It's probably one of the main things in the last month and a half that we've got inquiries about. The great thing about Laystrom is they are located in Chicago. And like I said before, they've added about $1.5 million worth of machinery, so they can actually produce those products faster. But this is a presentation that was put together by Colin, and it's a DFM presentation. So if this is something you're interested in, just let me know. I mean, like I said, there's a ton here and a lot to unpack. So I mean, it tells you what to do, what not to do, proper cutting, turret designs, let's see here, forming considerations, welding, fit. I mean, it's just on and on and on. So if this is something, 30-piece assemblies, fascinating option. So there's a ton there, and Colin's extremely technical, which is really helpful, because when we engage with our engineers and we start to talk to them, having someone on the other line that actually knows sheet metal is very helpful for us, because I'm still learning about sheet metal, and there's more than I thought there was to it. One thing I've learned is that paint's very difficult, and paint usually is a heartache for a lot of people. So that is Laystrom. Let me jump back over here. I promise you guys, in the future, I'll figure out a way to manage this faster. There's got to be a better way. So let's see here. So Mega Electronics. So these are our power cords and power supplies. So these things are manufactured in the Philippines. Well, excuse me, let me back up. Our power cords are manufactured in the Philippines. Our power supplies are still manufactured in China, but our power cords, you get to avoid those nasty tariffs that are still hanging around. They do a really good job. Manfred Schwarzinger, who's one of the founders of Mega, actually, he sits on a couple boards. So we kind of get updates on hey, this is going to change in the power cord market. These are kind of the things that government and regulations are doing. So we're kind of ahead on the curve in terms of, hey, this is what's coming in the future. You need to be wary of this. You need to, be prepared for this. Obviously, like most power cord companies, copper is very important. As you all know, the price of copper is going up, which I know is annoying for everybody, not just in the power cord market. But they have domestic power cords, hospital grade power cords, and then they do a really good job with power supplies, wall warts especially. We do a lot of wall warts for people, and they have the interchangeable, so you can go from EU to Brazil to South America, whatever. Their website's also nice. You can come over here, and they actually have the downloads that you can check out as well. They also have the locking power cords. So yeah, come check it out. You know, if you want to look at the catalog or inquire, you know, you can do that. You can also let me know. We know power cords are a weird market, but they can do customs. We're in North Carolina. So, you know, you have Duke, you have North Carolina, you have NC State. So one customer actually wanted a North Carolina blue power cord. And I say North Carolina because Carolina is South Carolina. So whenever you say Carolina, it's actually garnet, but they wanted a North Carolina blue power cord, and Mega was actually able to manufacture that for them. So that's pretty cool. I think I got a little motorcycle going by out there. So yeah, that's Mega. Oops. Let's come back here, make this big. Yeah, I got to figure out a better way to do that here. So NTE. So they're direct replacements. They're great with solder and semiconductors. So NTE has a absolutely ton of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of take you to their website. We'll skim around a little bit, take a couple looks. Again, Kester solder is something that has really, you know, picked up for us. TJ, yeah, go Cox. That's right, baby. So they have, let's see here. Where's the solder? Here we go. So Kester solder. So this is something that we've really seen pick up a lot lately. NTE, you can also buy directly through distribution. They have a ton of distribution partners. It would take me 15 minutes to try to go through those and name them all, but it's the familiar people who you already know. So let's see here. Let's see, what's another good one? Semiconductors, LED lighting, chemicals, tech spray. This is a cool one. Come on now. So they have a little bit of everything with tech spray. Here's all the quick links right on the side. So dusters, keyboard cleaners. They also have industrial type cleaners. So another cool thing is you can actually search parts. So if you need to do a generic search, that's how many products they have, right? They've actually had to design their website so you can navigate quickly and try to find the things that you need through there. So definitely check out NTE. They have a little bit of everything for everybody. So it's just a ton of stuff. We could spend 4 hours walking through this website. There's a flashlight promotion if anyone needs a flashlight. Let's see. Scroll back down. I should have like a little elevator music that I can play whenever I'm scrolling down here. So Quell. So this thing is an EMI filter on steroids is basically the way I like to describe it. I'm going to pull up their website because there's a video that encompasses exactly what they do really well. Give me 1 second here. Need to make sure that I activated the audio. You have to check it, which is a little weird, but that's okay. So the first thing you need to know about Quell is they'll give you free stuff. So if you need a free sample and you're having EMI issues, and it's really, centered around military and aerospace, you can come up here, request a free sample, and, they'll put it together for you. They actually have this brochure that I'll show you in a second. I actually have a Try Me sample here with me. We'll do that after we get done watching the video. I'll unpack that while this video is going. So let me come down here to instructional videos. So this is a pretty cool video. So check this out.
Welcome to the Skolnick Technical Training Institute. Our trainer, Mr. Jay Skolnick.
In today's demo, we have an electronic control unit, or ECU. This unit could be in an aircraft, tank, or automobile, and could be for controlling the engine, a missile, or the airbags in the car. Imagine this ECU is in your application. Inside our ECU is a power supply, analog and digital electronics, along with a microprocessor which is running the code. Power is applied in the front of the unit, and the solid green light shows the unit is functioning properly. The red indicator light will alert us to any event that interrupts the microprocessor. This could mean a false airbag deployment, an inaccurate missile warning indicator, a misguided missile, engine stall, or other unwanted event. In today's demonstration, we will first show a radiated susceptibility issue caused by an ESD event. Next, you will see a conducted emission issue being generated from the electronics inside the ECU. Finally, we will show solutions to both problems. A radiated susceptibility problem is caused by an ESD event where our ECU is subjected to a voltage spike of 1 kV. This transient causes an interruption of the microprocessor, the red indicator light flashes, and an audible tone sounds to signal the event. Moving to the issue of conducted emissions that affect our unit, we will use a spectrum analyzer. The spectrum analyzer shows EMI issues with our ECU at 50 megahertz, as well as some other smaller spikes in the 10 to 30 megahertz range. To meet the required specifications, we must mitigate both the EMI issues as well as protect our unit against transient or ESD events. In our effort to solve our problems, we are going to use an EE seal from Quell. The prototypes are delivered in 24 hours, and inserting the EE seal into our MIL 5015 connector is easy. We simply place the EE seal over the pins of the connector until the pins protrude through the holes. Once in place, we're using the mating connector as our insertion tool to secure the EE seal and create our very own filtered connector, including ESD protection, in seconds. Now that we have our EE seal in place, we can retest our ECU to see if we have solved our issues. First, we apply a 1 kV event to our ground plane, and the green light remains lit, and we receive no indicator or audible tone that a transient has affected our box. Next, we look back at our spectrum analyzer to see what changes have occurred in the EMI noise affecting our box. As you can see, all frequencies from 10 to 50 megahertz have been mitigated and are no longer an issue.
Today's ESD and EMI solutions were fast and effective. If you'd like additional information on today's product solutions from Quell, visit www.ee.
So yeah, that's pretty. What I think the video is super cool, and obviously, the EMI filtering is absolutely nuts that someone's been able to develop something like this. But I also love that the color of the thing was pistachio. I don't know if anyone else caught that. I'm going to bring myself to a full screen here. Let me stop sharing this here, and I'll show you guys exactly what this EE seal looks like. So let me move it over my mic so I'm not hurting anybody. So this is what the bad boy looks like right here. And then you've got your connector, right? So I'll go ahead and put this down in here, kind of get it with the pins like that, get it nice and lined up. So now you got it in there. And then all that you'll do, and this is great because it's installable. Put it together. So there we go. All right, so now you've got a sealed connector. So then when we open it back up, you can see the pins and you can also see the EE seal. My camera's not really rendering, but you get the gist of it. Bring my microphone back over here. If it cracks a little bit, I'm sorry. So yeah, be sure to go check out the EE seal website. And if you need a sample and you're having trouble with something like that, definitely reach out and get yourself a free sample. They'll send you one of the ones that I just showed you, or they'll do you a custom one if you need them to. So next, just got to scroll back down. Now that we're getting towards the end here, it's quite a bit of scrolling. So next we have Schaffner. Okay, so Schaffner is a leader in EMI and EMC filtering products. They do a great job with distribution. Really, really good job with distribution. So if you're a distributor who's watching this and you don't have Schaffner, you should have Schaffner. They do a great job. They have an engineering lab in New Jersey, which is great because obviously they're a global company as well. But the great thing about it is if you're having an issue, we can actually talk to someone here in the States, Dave Armitage, who is there in New Jersey. That guy is incredibly smart. And they're also super responsive, right? So it's not going to be one of these situations where, you have a problem with some sort of EMC or EMI mitigation and you're trying to, get an answer and it takes 2 or 3 days. Tom Larkin, who is the Eastern manager, he's also an applications manager, which is really nice because he's technical as well. So they actually have a ton of stuff. I made a video that maybe I'll post on my LinkedIn later, kind of walking through, the IEC inlet filters, the chassis mount filters, the high current chokes and all that kind of stuff. But I will show you really quickly. I'll stop sharing this and I'll pull up the product overview just so you can get a general sense of exactly how much stuff they have. And it should be said really quickly that they will do customs. We work with automotive, we work with medical. One of our larger customers is an automotive company, and we're doing a custom filter for them. And as you can imagine, that thing's huge. It's like a Kangyang catalog. It's that big. So let's see here. So this is the product range overview for Schaffner. I have it pretty blown up. This is actually available in PDF form as well as poster form. I think one thing about Schaffner that, everyone needs to understand, and I think most people do understand this, but as we kind of head into a more regulated world, and that's effectively what's going to happen, right? Especially when it comes to manufacturing trends, environmental stuff, you're going to have to be more regulated, period. For you to get your product to market, you're going to have to meet XYZ requirements, and Schaffner will really be able to help you get there. And like I said, I mean, it's a ton of stuff. We could go through these filters all day, and there's a lot to unpack here. They have single phase and 3-phase filters, which is really nice. High voltage as well. And they will do customs, right? So definitely check out their website too. I'll stop sharing this really quickly. I'll show you their website. So this is the Schaffner USA website. Don't go to the Schaffner website because you won't be able to read it. So here it is. It's a really pretty website too. And you can go through and look at the products. They also have downloads. So they have certain white papers, right? So if you're in the medical market or whatever, you can go in and you can download the medical white paper and kind of go through that and see if it's a solution you need. One thing we found is a lot of people don't know they need this solution until they need it. So I think moving into the future, it would be something that would be, highly recommended that you start to kind of research a little bit as someone who produces anything, right? So let's jump back over here. I will share my screen again. Bring it back up. Gotta make it big. You would think it would just go to the fit to page the first time, but All right. So Sola HD. Power, and more power, right? So we've got UPSs, we've got power supplies, we've got power conditioners. Power conditioners, they'll take dirty power and spit out good power. That's really nice. DIN rail power supplies, automation transformers, DIN rail power supplies, filters and surge protective devices. They have a power quality guidebook. I also have a video on that. I will post that to my LinkedIn as well. It's basically me walking through the entire power quality guidebook. It's especially useful for warehouses or anyone who's manufacturing things in mass. Think, for example, a bottling company, right? So that will allow you to keep your power up and running. So yeah, I'll provide that information. I'll actually post it, in the comments after this video is over. So you'll be able to get to that. Next, we have S-Tech. So this is glass displays, OLED displays, heater and touch screens. So if you're in need for any sort of thing like that, we can do it. We do a really cool one that's for people who make 911 operators, and that's a thing all I can really say on it. But it's really as simple as this, right? If you have displays, I would like to take a look at them. I would like to quote them for you. Displays are displays. And, the main competitive balance for us is we would like to just provide you with really good customer service. And the S-Tech guys are really great to work with. They're up there in Ohio. So it's coming up on 5 o'clock. I'm almost at my time. I will post a link to our line card in the comments as well. Feel free. This will be uploaded to YouTube after it's done. Everyone who hung out with me and checked this out today, especially on like 2 hours notice, I really appreciate it. Like I said, if this is something that you're interested in doing, if you want to come on here and you're a manufacturer and we want to have, for example, Bill Petro and I are going to have an interview, and I'm starting these in middle of April. He's the general manager for Kangyang. What we'll do is we'll jump on here, and since I'm touching on all the lines now, Bill and I will jump on here and we'll get a really in-depth analysis on Kangyang, their capabilities, how Bill got into the industry, all that good stuff. So maybe have some laughs, if the conversation goes well. So if you're a manufacturer and you're interested in doing this, if you're a rep and you want to get on here and talk to another rep like me, we can talk about, the struggles you've seen, some of the manufacturers you represent, distributors, or if you're someone who makes something, an OEM, let me know. I'd love to let you get on here, promote your product, talk about how you got to where you got to. And I think it would be a lot of fun. So with that being said, guys, look, I really appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging out with me to end your Friday. Like I said, we're going to start to do this more consistently. So hopefully, you'd like to join us, and we're going to expand this further and further and further. So with that being said, I'm Rob Brunson with Wallace Electronic Sales, and I really appreciate you stopping by the stream. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching the stream. It's Rob Brunson with Wallace Electronic Sales. We want to provide you and your company with quality and competitive solutions. We don't care if you're a small OEM, a medium-sized OEM, or a large OEM. We have solutions that we can provide to everybody. Feel free to drop me an email at rob.brunson@west-inc.com. Again, that's robbrunson@west-inc.com. You can also check out our full OEM line card on our website, and that's at west-inc.com. Again, that's at west-inc.com. Thanks so much again for watching the stream, and we look forward to talking to you soon.